mine. I have them up on the side. If I get a headache,
I wanted to look more fancy today for you. I thought about putting on a suit and everything. We should do that one time. We should do that one
day.
time.
We should wear suits.
Just like
I'll suit up.
Game of the year. When we do Game of the Year, we will dress up and put on a suit. We'll suit up and do
100%.
it.
All right. Yeah, I agree to that. That's fine.
Welcome back, everybody, to the latest episode of When Beards Collide. A nice casual conversation from two friends from different parts of the world sharing their love for video games. I'm Admiral Redbeard, and this, to my right, across the ocean.
Way right.
It's a long way right. I can feel him. Is Beardo Benjo, Big B.
Hello, everyone. How are you all? I hope you're all well. I hope you're all enjoying video games. We're back to talk about, well, more video games.
More video games.
We love video games.
I mean, that's what we do. That's what we're here to talk about. So, starting up, guys, first of all, we're going to kind of try to do some segments this time around.
We're getting fancy.
A little housekeeping here to start with is what we'll call the first bit, and I'm ripping that straight from Kinda Funny and probably everybody else who does it. The most important thing is, Ben, why have you not accepted my fucking friend request on PlayStation Network?
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
God!
I'm playing the Avengers beta as well. So
yeah, because I was hoping maybe, like, after this we might play together, but whatever.
I'm so sorry.
I was saving that one for you. You son of a bitch.
I'm very rarely on my PlayStation. Right? I'm playing a lot of PC, and then I jumped on PlayStation, I did Avengers beta, and then I was like, well, that's all I needed to do here, and I went straight back to the PC. So, but I do need to jump on and accept.
I had to give you shit.
You can give me shit. You can give me so much shit. It's fine.
The other important stuff, guys, is this podcast is now on iTunes and Spotify.
OMG.
There will be a link in the description. If you cannot watch our beautiful faces on YouTube on either the Rhino Vision channel or the Beardo Benjo channel, please go subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, leave us a review, whatever you need to do. Please, because it was kind of a pain in the ass to get it up there, but I got it.
Massive respect to you for doing it. I played no part in that.
My close friend Steven, who has run my website for the last 7 years, helped me get it up there because I thought I had it, and then I didn't. Also, if you guys haven't seen, which will probably be the thumbnail moving forward here from now on, and Ben can't see it, but just right up above here, it's right here, Ben. It's our new logo, When Beards Collide.
Did I point the right way?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not gonna fix it in post. Fuck you. But my friend Claudia drew this. She is Naruto Chick 0. That's Naruto Chick CHIC 0, the number, on Twitter. If you ever want to go on there and give her some love, she does a lot of great artwork. She whipped this together in like a day for us. It was exactly what I asked for. Yes, Ben is on the left side, I'm on the right side, and I know on here we're not, but I can't fix that.
I love it. I think it's amazing. She did such a good job with that.
Yeah.
As soon as you showed me, I was like, yeah, that's perfect.
It's so great.
I
love it so much. We also have our own intro song, and it'll be our outro song as well, made by my friend Anthony Mattison. He has a YouTube channel just under his name, Anthony Mattison. He just makes music. He just does it pretty much anything. Most of the songs that you ever hear on Rhino Vision, intro, outro, any of it has been made by him. And he's wonderful. So check him out, guys, too.
Absolute legend.
With that being said, I think that we can lead into this week's episode of When Beards Collide.
Let's do it.
Roll that intro.
Edit in the intro.
And there's the new intro that I made this morning.
You did a fantastic job with that.
We got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff that it's been a lot of fun.
Creating all kinds of new things.
I just can't stop, man.
I'm like excited every week to see the new thing that you've created. You're gonna run out of new things at some point.
Eventually, I probably will.
For now, I'm excited.
Well, wait until I blow your mind, and all of a sudden I'm wearing the merch.
Hat,
which honestly is very easy to do.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. Yeah.
If you guys want merch, let us know, because all proceeds will go to me, because I'm broke as fuck. So, yeah. Anyway, so here's our first new segment that we're going to go through, guys. And I'm sorry if I'm talking really fast. I've been working all morning trying to get my house clean. So I'm a little beat. But
it looks spotless from what I can see.
Oh, thanks. That's actually the messiest part.
Tiny bit of dust behind you.
You what?
Just on that table.
Those are my D&D dice.
Ah, sorry.
Yeah, dust. Yeah. So our first new segment is we're going to do this new thing called Quick Hits. We're probably going to do these episodes every 2 or 3 weeks whenever we can. That's why this one's been a little bit longer because, well, we've had things come up. We have lives. I don't make content as often as Ben does. But this Quick Hits is going to be a compilation of some stories that have popped up in the gaming world that we're going to run through really fast for you guys, and we might come back to them later at the end of the episode to dive into them more, or basically after the episode's done. If you guys want us to talk on one of those particular things more, you let us know, and then maybe we do a special episode for it. But we'll see. So,
let's do it.
Here's the next thing that I'll make next week. I'll make a little jingle for Quick Hits.
Oh, please do. I love jingles.
Anthony!
If you can get a jingle, I've got a ukulele just under my desk. I'll bust out a jingle for us for next week.
Well, then that one's on you. That one's on you.
That's not. I'll take that one.
Quick Hits.
That's on me. I'll make a little ukulele jingle. And
Perfect.
We'll be done.
Perfect. The promises are being made. And you guys, if he doesn't follow up with it, then I can call him out next week. All right, so here we go. Quick hits. Let's see how this goes and how long we go on it. The very first one.
Long hits, am I right?
Yeah. The very first one is going to be Halo Infinite officially delayed. Ben, what do you think of this?
I am very shooketh about this. I'm exceptionally shocked. I actually made a comment about maybe delaying the game when I did a video on Halo when it first broke and the graphics weren't up to par and there was that whole discussion. I honestly thought there's no way in the world that Microsoft can delay it, because if they delay it, what are they launching the Xbox Series X with? And they've delayed it. So I'm flabbergasted by it. It's painful to see them do it. It's bad news for Xbox. It's good news for consumers and Halo fans. I think we're going to get a better Halo product because of this. But I think for the Xbox and what it means for Microsoft's launch of that new console, it surely is massively damaging. Surely. I
agree completely. That's pretty much took the words out of my mouth in that regards. I'm actually excited for them to delay it because, we're in that day and age where unfortunately COVID has, kind of fucked things up a lot for pretty much everybody. And obviously they listed things of being, it's not just that, there's other things involved, but
there's a lot. Yeah, there's a huge
amount. I agree with the Series X, like that's a big hit. That was a launch title. They were never going to have they've never had another Halo match up with that. So, but I am, because of the backlash that it received, I mean, you could even say from us as well when we talked about it, I think it's a good thing. I think that they know, like Phil Spencer knows, the guys at 343 know that this needs to be damn near like Halo 2 level Halo, or otherwise it's not.
It has to be perfect.
It has to be damn near perfect. So
I think that the problem with delays in general, delays are a good thing. I'm always positive about delays. If a game gets delayed, then that is always positive, because I think it's a Kojima quote, and I'm gonna butcher it, but it's something like a delayed game will eventually be good, but a rushed game is always bad.
I actually think that's a Miyamoto quote.
Is it Miyamoto?
Yeah, that's Shigeru Miyamoto. Yeah.
Miyamoto.
But yes, you did get it. You did get it.
Floated around in the gamosphere somewhere, but it's exceptionally true. Mm-hmm. If they take the extra time that they need to make the game right, then we're going to get a product at the end of the day that's going to be. It's going to hopefully be fantastic. The backlash and the negativity has been loud. People have made their voices heard. But it's a double-edged sword, because now the expectation is that when they deliver this product, it's going to be perfect, because they've delayed it and they've taken it away from launch. So people are going to have higher expectations now that it's been delayed than they would have had if they'd released the product that they'd shown. There was a subsect of people that were happy with that product, still knew that it was going to be a fun time because it's Halo and they were going to play it. It's difficult. I think it's a great choice for Halo fans, great choice for the product at the end of the day. But yeah, I don't know now what the Series X launch looks like. What have we got? Medium.
Is that even a launch title? I don't know if that's a launch title. Yeah.
No idea. I know it's holiday 2020.
Yep.
Which in my mind feels like it's going to be a launch title, but
yeah, I agree. I agree completely. Moving on to number 2.
Oh, that was quick. It was good. I like
it. Quick hits. I got you. I got you.
I like it.
All right. So Control. They just announced that I put it here in my notes that it's not having smart delivery, but basically to sum that up, it's essentially that even if you own the game now with the season pass and everything like that, you have to buy the Ultimate Edition to get the free PS5 or Xbox version upgrade, which personally I'm really upset about, because that's one of my favorite games that I played last year. I enjoyed it so much. I have the season pass. I haven't played Foundation yet. AWE is coming out, or all. I don't know exactly which one it is, but it's really upsetting to me because, like, I don't personally mind rebuying games, but the fact is that it's like they're still offering it, but for another version. It's not just like, here's the PS5 version, buy it. If you want the upgrade, you have to get this Ultimate Edition, but I kind of already have the Ultimate Edition because I've paid for it all. So it does upset me a little bit.
I'll go in on this if you want.
Go for it, buddy. Do it. Hit it.
I think it's scummy. I think it's scummy as all hell. It's one of the moves I dislike this most, and I've seen it happen so many times in the past. The best example I can give is Destiny.
Oh.
Destiny 2. If you were an early adopter of Destiny 2 and you bought the base game for, and I'll use UK currency, you bought the base game for £50, right? You've laid that money out.
60
and then
US.
You bought the season pass, about 60 US, yeah. And then you laid out the money for the season pass, which is let's say another £40.
Right.
So already you're close to 100. You know,
Yep.
You'd be over $100. Then they release another season pass for another bit of content, and you're shoveling out because you're an early adopter and you love that game. You know, you're probably arguably one of the biggest fans. You've spent the most money. Then 2 years in, they release a collection that gives newcomers everything for like $30. And the people that have early adopted and spent all the money, yeah, you know, they've had fun, they've had hours of fun, but what do they get? They don't get anything. You don't get like a special skin to show that you've been there since the start. You don't get shaders. You don't get content. You don't get anything for adopting early. And that's the same situation here. If you supported Control at the start, you took a chance on that game, you spent $70 for getting the game and maybe the season pass because you believed in the product, and now you've been playing it for a year, and now they tell you can't have an upgrade, but someone that runs out and buys it tomorrow can. Someone that's never experienced it, someone that's never believed in the product, taken the time to kind of invest in that product, now will get more than you.
Right.
I hate it. I think it's a slap in the face to people that take a chance on products when they're brand new, and you feel like throwing yourself at something that, you know, isn't established, especially with a new franchise like Control. You took a chance on it. I took a chance on it day one because I like Remedy. I love their games. And what do we have to show for it now? We don't. Loyalty means nothing in in the gaming sphere when it comes to these kind of things. I hate it. It winds me right up. I think if you've bought the game and the season pass and all the content, you should be entitled to that free upgrade.
Okay. Whew.
I could see the panic on your face setting in, and I was like,
I don't know what happened.
Something's gone wrong.
I clicked one thing, and all of a sudden it went. But okay, my audio is still recording here. We're
Don't
good.
click anything.
I'm not gonna click anything again. I was just making sure things were working, and then all of a sudden, boom. Okay, good thing is you finished your point on that.
I did, yeah.
And I can edit around that. All right, moving on. This one will probably be pretty quick. I don't know if you even heard about this, but the next BioShock game, not even sure if you're a big fan, but it's not going to be set in Rapture. Okay, sweet, me too. It's not going to, apparently won't be set in Rapture or Columbia. Or yeah, that's right.
Columbia.
Yeah. Big Daddy. Big Daddy. What do you think of that? I mean, personally, it makes me kind of excited. I mean, as much as I love those two areas, I think the biggest appeal between the first BioShock 2, and then going to Infinite was the different setting. So I'm actually like, let's go. I mean, I'm iffy about another BioShock game just for the reason that, like, after how great Infinite was, and what's his name, Ken Levine?
Ken Levine.
Yeah, that he's not in any way involved, and it's like, but I'm cool with this.
Yeah.
Let's go. Give me a new cool setting. Bring me more lighthouses, baby.
Yeah, I kind of assumed it. So I assumed it would be a different setting anyway. I don't know if I'm excited purely because of what you just said.
Yeah.
You know, Ken Levine and the guys at Irrational. Was it Irrational Games?
That sounds right. That sounds right.
Rumbly car. They did such a stunning job on the original trilogy of BioShock games. I knew that the franchise would move forward without them. I knew that they'd kind of it's a money-making franchise, so I knew that 2K would push it forward and forward and forward. I don't know. We'll wait and see. It's good to hear that they're not just going back to that same well that's already pretty dry.
Right.
Rapture or Columbia, because they've been done. You know, the story of Columbia especially is done.
There's nothing else to do there. There'd be absolutely nothing else to do there.
And the way, obviously, spoiler alert, that it tied back into Rapture. Again, Rapture's kind of done. I mean, I don't know it's a weird one because there's so many possibilities within that universe. You could make a game basically about anything, anywhere, and somehow now tie it back to the originals because it's so open-ended.
100% you could, absolutely.
You know, but at the same time, it almost feels like, why do we need to?
Right.
Although there's so many possibilities, it's like, it's so open-ended, but at the same time, do we need another story in that universe? What would it bring? What value would it bring to have another BioShock game that you can call it now? We'll call it right here. Will, in some big shocking way, tie into those original games. And it'll be like, and
probably.
Do we need that?
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see, man. I'm excited. I mean, I'll play it. 100%. I'll play it. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. But obviously, we have no other info on it. So, but that's just a quick little thing.
It was from a job. Was it a job listing?
I think so. I'd have to Google that again. I just
I did read the story. I saw they had some job listings for people that were designing, looking for someone that can design exceptional and fantastical worlds or something like that. A unique new fantastical.
Oh, sign me up, dude.
Escapist world, something like that.
Right.
People jumped on that and were like, okay, so it's not Rapture or Columbia, so that's exciting. So
yeah.
No, I'll play it, but it remains to be seen what it'll be like without Ken Levine and team.
Yep. Moving on to number 4. We have 5 stories today. Ben, what do you think of the Avengers beta? We both played it. What'd you think?
I'm gonna come across like such a salty prick.
That's fine. That's fine.
Aye, sir. I loved the first level. I thought the first level, the first bit you get to play, was the perfect Marvel Avengers game. I thought it was absolutely wonderful. It felt like something pulled directly from the MCU. I loved it. I thought it was wonderful. And then it devolved into just mindless kind of button mashing and fairly bland environments and generic indoors secret laboratories. And I was like, this just feels like any game now. It just feels like any kind of generic beat 'em up. And it's cool, the Hulk still felt like the Hulk and the moves still felt chunky, but I just found myself just kind of smashing the buttons.
Oh yeah, I was trying to figure out combos and such. It didn't really seem like there was much there.
There's not much there. Yeah. I don't want to take away from what he said, but I'll end up paraphrasing. But I watched a video by Jimquisition. I don't know if you know Jimquisition.
I've heard of the name.
A fantastic YouTuber. He made a video about the beta, and he kind of nailed it. And I would be paraphrasing again, but basically he said that first level felt like that was their pitch to make an Avengers game.
Yeah,
they were like, right, let's make an Avengers game, and this is our pitch. This is what we want to create, and it was great. It's off to a great start, and that sold it. And they were like, right, let's make one. And then at some point, someone said, right, we need to make this a games as service game, something that's going to evolve for years, and we're going to be able to add to it and add to it. So they abandoned the tight storytelling and the cool kind of set pieces that first level contains, and instead opted for a fairly bland level crawling beat 'em up because they can keep pumping content into that, and they can make it multiplayer, and they can make it games as service. And it feels like at some point in time they had a really good idea to make a really strong Avengers game, and it still could be, but
we don't know everything yet. Yeah,
we don't know everything.
Yeah, I agree with you on that first level.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And the rest of it felt underwhelming. I didn't finish it. I played everything like as the Hulk went to Siberia, did the snowy bit, and
that's all I did too. I went through the main story bit. I tried to hop online at one point. People kept popping out of my thing, and I was confused by like how I picked my hero as opposed to when they picked theirs. It was a little confusing, but I was also just like trying to get through it. I was also stressed out of my fucking gourd last week, so I was just like, let me just fucking beat. I was honestly in the mood for that type of just beat 'em up. Yeah. But I agree with you. I really enjoyed the beginnings of the second mission where you're as Hulk with Camilla Khan. Their banter and everything felt really natural. It felt awesome. She is one of the most adorable characters ever. I know
you said you really enjoyed playing as her.
I really enjoyed playing as her. I really enjoyed just listening to them. It felt like when I was playing those bits, it did feel like a single player type of action game that I love, that I know you really enjoy. So there is potential there for sure. I'm not big on the multiplayer aspect. I do want to play with my friends when it comes out. I would love to play with you because I think me and you could just dick around and have some fun in it.
It would be a blast.
I actually
accept that friend request.
Yes. I did enjoy playing as the Hulk. Iron Man, I didn't like playing as, honestly.
I loved Iron.
I really didn't like him.
But then he is my favorite. hero.
I mean, he's one of my favorites too. I just didn't enjoy playing as him that much. Thor, I enjoyed. Black Widow was great fighting Taskmaster in the beginning of that. That was fun. I'm interested to see what happens moving forward, whether or not, like, even with the games as a service, how they keep people's interest, because that's always a big deal with it. Adding new adding new heroes, adding new heroes and this and that, great. Like, give it to me. They also talk, it's not just the online where you go into the war room and you fight with friends. There's all this new story content that we're going to continuously give me. Sweet, let's go. Make all these characters feel different, which they did, besides like your square and triangle like button moves, but they all felt and played differently. And it was
heavy or light.
Yeah, Hulk was big. Hulk was big and could move. Iron Man was fast. Black Widow could move around. Camilla Khan like swing. It's great, and I'm excited to see what happens moving forward with that.
The team really understand the world they're building, and that's really apparent. It's really apparent that Crystal Dynamics know these characters and they love these characters. I just think it's a strange choice that they've turned it into this games as service, because if you look at what they've created, you know, the Tomb Raider games were type-focused, story-driven, single-player campaigns, and I just kind of wish they'd focused in a little bit more on that aspect to give us an Avengers game that was, you know, like an Uncharted or like a God of War or like the Tomb Raider. Because I think bolting on the multiplayer, and at this point in time, it feels like they've had to change the game pretty fundamentally to fit that in. And it remains to be seen, but for me, it felt like there's so much potential there, and currently as it stands, I feel like it would have been better realized if it was just a single player focused. Just give me MCU in video game form.
I agree.
And they did in that first level. So
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I mean, really,
it's still
like
early days.
We could. I mean, that game comes out what, like 3 weeks or something like that.
It's not long, man.
It's end of August,
September or something.
September. I can't remember exactly the release date, but we'll see. Maybe that story maybe that's enough. Maybe that I love that part, and I'm like, you know, the war room's there, big deal. But
also, before you jump on from it,
yes.
Did you see the Verizon?
I did. Oh.
That's the other thing that worries me, and a lot of people have said this, but it feels like a kind of a bit of a corporate.
Oh,
sellout.
Dude. 100%. They do this shit all the time in America. I don't know if they do it in the UK, but I mean, Call of Duty's done it in the past. You know, they did, because like Modern Warfare 3 was all about like you got the game fuel and you'd get these codes. Like, I mean, it's that type of shit's been around forever with multiplayer games. It just
feels like it's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's Avengers, man. It's one of the biggest properties in the world right now, still. So I get it. I don't like it. It doesn't bother me. It's just a skin. You know, get fucked. So sorry. This next one, guys, is probably going to piss a lot of people off. Ben, please, God, what the fuck is Fall Guys? What is this? What is this?
Take a seat, son.
You want me to take a knee? Hold on.
Take a knee, because I am quite clearly the king of. That's it. Bow down to the king of Fall Guys.
Can't hear you,
You
Ben.
can't even hear me now.
I can't hear you.
But you're kneeling, and that's fine.
All right, Dad, go ahead.
Okay, so Fall Guys is a brand new competitive multiplayer game that's basically, have you ever seen the TV show Total Wipeout?
Yeah.
Or Takeshi's Castle?
Yes.
It's that. It's a online platformer where you basically just throw yourself through obstacle courses and you have to be the last one standing. So it's kind of got a battle royale element. There's like 60 of you to start, and as you go through the obstacle courses, more and more of you fall off and fall into the slime and die. I don't know what happens to them. I guess they die. And then there has to be one left at the end.
So it's a big battle royale. From the images that I've seen, like I said, I don't play many multiplayer games. It's not really my thing that I dive into. But
like this one
this is blowing up everywhere. I legit. It's free on PlayStation.
Get it. Download it. It will take over your life.
Maybe if you accept my friend request, I will.
Oh, okay. Well,
because apparently you're really fucking good. Apparently you keep winning.
So
and everybody's getting pissed at you on Twitter, especially Baelish.
Baelish is pissed. Like he's angry
so mad. That was funny as hell. That whole conversation and every post was just ripping.
He was super happy that he got his third win, and I thought it was like third win of the day because that's the standard rate at which I win in that game. So I asked him if it was his third
cold-blooded
win of the day or total. But it was total. It was his total wins.
Oh man, cold fucking blooded, Benjamin.
Man, sort yourself. But yeah, no, I'm pretty historically crap at kind of multiplayer games. I'm just not very good at them in general. And I found one that I'm pretty good at, and it's one where I get to play as a little bean creature and throw myself through obstacle courses. So I don't know how to feel about that, but I'm pretty proud.
Hey, Fall Guys, make us in Fall Guys. I don't know if that's a thing.
Everyone is after that shit.
Yeah.
All the corporations are going for them hard.
Oh, dude,
like,
that's what I mean. That's why, like, I haven't seen any of this. It's so awesome.
Going for them.
Are you gonna put a video up of it?
I've done a couple.
Have you? Okay. Like I said, I finally hit the bell on you 2 weeks ago, and like I get all of them, but I haven't had time to watch anything. I haven't watched YouTube in weeks. Nice.
Fire them out like crazy.
Nice.
I've done like 3. I did a tip video after the beta because they're just things that help me win. I've done a video about like
why I'm the best by Ben.
Basically, why I rock Fall Guys, and how to be like me. But I've done a tips video. I did a like why is it so popular video, just kind of talking about.
That's awesome.
It fills a gap in the market. Because there's so many battle royales these days where you need a really high level of skill to kind of join in the battle. Like if you're gonna say no to this and you're gonna laugh. Do you play Fortnite?
Do I play what?
Fortnite.
No, I do not. No. I've never.
There. I thought you didn't know what Fortnite was.
No, sorry, you cut out for a brief second on me, and I wasn't sure what you said. It might have been your thick Irish accent that you have.
I wish I had a thick Irish accent. That would be gorgeous. So Fortnite. Like if you tried to play Fortnite now, like you don't play Fortnite. I played Fortnite for a couple of months, but if you went into it now and tried to play it, I'm not being mean. We wouldn't be able to compete because people are just the skill level is just the skill.
That's why I don't play those games. It's not fun for me when I get my ass kicked over and over again.
It's not fun. You go in, you just get destroyed. People are building towers and shooting you from 30 feet up.
This is why I put games down to easy mode when I play them on single player. I just want to win.
Exactly. But Fall Guys, there's no skill cap for entry. You just throw yourself in and have a good
time.
Well,
maybe I will download it and give it a shot.
Give it a shot. You'll have a good time. If you like Total Wipeout or you like Takeshi's Castle,
I'll give it a try.
Playing that.
I got so many other things to play. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. But fuck. All right, guys, that's quick hits. It actually that went pretty well. Besides my technical difficulties in the middle of it, which I'll probably run into more as we go. But
relatively quick.
I mean, we've been recording for 30 minutes now, but there's been some hiccups there, so it's as quick as we can do. Let's move on to our main topic that we've wanted to talk about for quite some time. Now, I don't really know how to jump into this one necessarily, but what we want to talk about is the length of video games or the longevity of video games. Like, I guess when it really...
It's almost two different questions.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is, which is why I think that this is it's an interesting topic because this one is very opinion-oriented about how you prefer your video games and how, what is a game too long? Is a game too short? What does that mean for you? So let's just kind of jump into it. And Ben, I'll ask you to start with about it's a broad question, but what do you think, man?
It's very broad. My opinion has changed massively with age.
Yes.
I think there's a direct correlation between the length of the product that I want and how old I am now. For reference, I'm 33, and I used to buy a game and be like, I need this to be the longest game ever.
Sure.
You can probably hear that car going past my house right now.
Oh, thank God that was
like a fighter jet, but it is just.
Thank God that was your house. I was just like, what the hell is outside?
It's the end of the world. But when I used to go and dish out, 40 pounds for a brand new game, I wanted it to be the longest thing in the world. I wanted it to last me.
You wanted to get your money's worth.
50 out, yeah. I wanted to get my money's worth. And I've found that now, like the older I get, the more I long for a game that I can finish
in a couple hours.
Sub 10 hours.
Yeah, I'm with you. I actually have this. I have this website that I go to all the time. It's called howlongtobeat.com.
I go there.
And it actually, like, when it comes to a new game, when I don't have, like, the new releases out, I go to see how long it will take to beat me, and I go, do I want to dive into that right now? And honestly, if it's over 15 hours these days, I usually go, I don't think I want to do that right now. Now, that's us. That's obviously a completely different story, and it also, it comes down to, I'm an Assassin's Creed fan. Huge Assassin's Creed fan. I have played every single one of them, and those are my favorite open world games. I never want them to end. I don't know how many hours I've put into Assassin's Creed Origins, Odyssey. You know, that's a different type of game. I mean, God, Ghost of Tsushima, which I still haven't beaten. I don't know how many hours I've put into that. But then when a game, and this is the one that I want to talk to you in particular about, like Resident Evil 3 comes out, yeah, I think it was a little short, but I personally loved that I beat it in one day. I really do.
Yeah.
Because I finished it. Me and my buddy Matt, we both were playing it. Like, he was like maybe an hour ahead of me, and I'm texting him back and forth all day about it. And then he shows up for D&D, and we're just like, we both beat it. I'm like, this is awesome. I can't wait to go play it again. Like, I couldn't wait to, like, I beat this in one day. I can go do it again now at a different difficulty with these different skins. I was just like, yes!
Yeah. I'm kind of gutted and happy that you brought that one up, because it's just blown my mind now. It's
one of the biggest games that came out this year that people were super excited about, and everybody still to this day doesn't think that it was worth $60. Money's not the conversation on this point, but just for how long it was. I mean, that's a 7-hour game.
The length was one of my biggest gripes, because it's so weird, because I'll sit here now and say that I want my games to be shorter, because that is the preference that I have now. You just mentioned Assassin's Creed, and we'll come into this. We'll come onto it in a moment, but I adore the look of those games.
Yes.
And I play them, and I have an absolute blast for about 10 hours, and then they lose me. Every single time, almost without fail, they just lose me. Origins, stunning. 10 hours in, dropped it. Odyssey, bit further in, maybe 15 hours, dropped it.
Yeah.
And it's not because the game got bad, it's just because I'd had my fill.
I do that with the Fallout games, actually. My friends, I love the Fallout games, or honestly, I'd say almost any open world Bethesda game besides Skyrim.
I think open world games in general, I mean, because
Yeah.
There's so many of them that come out, and I think if there was just if one open world game existed, if Skyrim was the only open world game, it would be fine, because when I had that hankering, I would go back to Skyrim and kind of get my open world fill. But there's so many that you just drop old ones and try a new one, but you never get. I personally am never getting to the end of these games.
Yeah,
I'll get my fill, at the 10 to 15 hour mark of an Assassin's Creed game. It's controversial. I feel like I've seen everything that game has to offer.
And you know what? For the most part, you're not wrong. The biggest reason that open world games, like the big 50 to 120 hour open world games, get me is, it's still for story. Like, a story has to keep me captivated for me to continue. I enjoy side quests. I hate collectibles. That's one of my things, my open gripes. I've only platinumed one true game, and that was Assassin's Creed 2, where I did look for all the fucking feathers, and I hated it.
Fuck.
I don't like doing that. Collectibles are not fun for me, but like Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey, and I'll say even with Ghost of Tsushima, like every single side quest that they have built within those games gives me a reason to want to do it. There is a specific story involved with these people over here that makes me want to go do these things, and it keeps me going. Odyssey does a great job with that. Origins not so much, but there's bits, because like the way the characters interact with the world opens it up. It's like it's not, and I'm going to keep using Assassin's Creed as the example here.
It's a good example, yeah.
For the reason that, like, as Bayek in Assassin's Creed Origins, wherever you go, they know you. You are the last Magi. You are this awesome motherfucker who used to be, he used to be the guard to the Pharaoh. Everyone loves him. He's clever and witty, and I love Bayek so much. And when you go do these quests, they're always, sometimes it's like, hey, Magi, like, help me out with this, and then the other times it's like, Bayek, it's like, motherfucker, you know me? Like, what's up? And I love that, because it feels personal, where there's a lot of open world games, and the things have progressed, these days with how they do those types of quests, but older games is just like, Skyrim, hey, what's up? Who are you? Like, motherfucker, I'm the Dragonborn. It used to be a big conversation that me and my friends would have about Skyrim in general, and about consequences. And this was a big time when, like, Infamous and Until Dawn was creeping up. Like, that was a couple years later, but the idea behind, like, what I do in this world needs to matter around the world to keep me invested. Yeah. It's not light side, dark side. It doesn't have to be Knights of the Old Republic. But the idea that, like, if I go do this mission, they need to recognize that. In Skyrim, you can go be part of the Dark Brotherhood. You can go be a vampire. You can be a werewolf. You can do all these things.
Wider impact.
And you walk into another place, they're just like, hey, Like, yeah, what's up, Ulfric, or whatever the fuck your name is? Like, I'm against you in your Stormcloaks. Like, that didn't matter. I mean, like I said, things have progressed, and I love seeing that. That's what keeps me going in a game. Death Stranding, that game kept me going because I did feel that everything I did actually impacted the world, because you built, you grew, you connected these other points, and you would get new things because of what you did in these certain sections. It just, the world felt alive, and that's how I take open world games as opposed to single player games.
Yeah, that's my frustration. So the stories in the Assassin's Creed games, I want to see them out to their finales, because they do engage me, and I am interested to see where they go. But the gameplay loop is what loses me. Kind of, it's very difficult because it's a very personal opinion thing. But
that's what. Hey, this is all personal opinions, man. We're not worried about it.
If you spend 10, 15 hours doing the same thing, like over and over again, and Assassin's Creed and most open world games really are guilty of it. You know. You're going from point A to point B to kill someone, to go back to point A to tell them you've killed point B's person, right? You go to a radio tower or the top of a building to synchronize to find your collectibles and your spots. Most games have adopted that format now. So when you do that for 10, 15 hours, me personally, I just get burnt out, and I'm like, this game isn't showing me anything new gameplay wise. I'm very engaged by the gameplay loop. If Assassin's Creed shortened and tightened its story
like it used to,
like it used to, down to a 15-hour really focused story, cut out a lot of that filler. I'm going to call it filler. Cut out that kind of open world filler, that the side quests that don't really do anything or mean anything. It would be a better experience for me. I would finish every Assassin's Creed game. I'd go into them, I'd see them start to finish, but I'm clearly not the target audience for these open world games.
And that's fine. Here's a quick question on that. And this is kind of another topic on like length of games in general, because I 100% agree, because so many open world games are that,
so many
right?
of them as well, and I love the look of them. I sit and stare at them. I looked at my Steam the other day, and I was like, I've got so many amazing looking open world games here. When the fuck am I ever going to play them? Horizon Zero Dawn sitting there. I'm a percentage of the way through Ghost of Tsushima, which I recognize is absolutely stunning.
I plan on beating it tonight.
I plan on beating it sometime in 2021. Realistically, like, it's just.
So you're not gonna get a spoiler cast episode, probably.
Well, probably not.
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn. I've got.
Dude, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you.
Sitting in your Mad Max stunning.
Sorry, I was gonna say, have you ever started that one?
No.
Oh, it's so good. I never beat it, but it's so good. Anyway,
all the Just Cause games. There's a ton of those. Like, I just, how do you apply? And I think the age thing is because at this point in my life, when you get to a certain point, you do have to juggle more normal responsibilities, and it's much harder to dedicate 50, 60, whatever hours to one single game when you love games as much as I do, because there's games coming out constantly, and I'm a sucker for them. I want to experience all the video games. So if that means that I just experience 10 hours of a 60-hour game, so be it. Because that means I can then move on to a 8-hour game and complete it. And another 8. I can complete a ton of 8-hour, 7-hour single-player story-driven games. But I don't think I'll really ever complete those big open-world games anymore, unless I'm going through some kind of crazy drought and there's no games. Because I think that there's just too many adult responsibilities that take precedence, and the simple fact is there are too many video games.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm with you in the exact same boat, man. I mean, I'm 31 years old. I'm a homeowner. I work full time. I have my wife that obviously I want to spend time with her as well, and not just I play video games one day a week. Today, this is the day. Like, when I'm done here, and I get my other stuff done around the house, then I sit in front of the TV and I get maybe 5, 6, 7 hours total if I can actually stay the fuck awake. But when I come home from work, I'm up for 2 hours and I go to bed. Like, that's what I do. I don't stay up late anymore. I'm exhausted from the day because I work in retail location, and I get tired from talking to people like that constantly, and it sucks because I mean, with Game Pass and the Series X and all this stuff coming out, there's so many games I want to try and play, and I'm just like, I gotta finish this first. That's why I'm with you. That's why Resident Evil 3 being that short was Oh, I loved it. Oh yeah, it was short.
Skies almost.
But I'm done. But I finished it. Like I took one Saturday afternoon, I beat it, and I moved on. Where like Ghost of Tsushima, that's been a month now, and I'm still pounding through it.
Yeah, I think you're. Oh yes, I love it when a dog appears in anything. It's the best.
He's got his little cone on him.
For anyone listening on Spotify, that means nothing. But a dog just appeared.
My puppy Atlas. Atlas, come here. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. He can't see.
I love dogs
so
much.
He's here.
Oh, there's a dog nose.
He's
it's
here.
Beautiful.
He's here.
This is the best thing ever. So, like, it's interesting that you use Resident Evil as an example, and I had like an adverse effect because I'm here trying to champion the fact that me personally, I love a shorter game.
Yeah.
A shorter game is my idea of heaven.
Yeah.
When it comes to
However,
Resident Evil irked me because I'm a big fucking fan. I'm a huge fan, and I wanted more. So I think it's.
As you can see, your shirt and my tattoo.
it's just Resident Evil everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's. Oh, I've never shown you this. Completely off topic.
Oh.
I don't know if you can see that on the camera.
What is that?
It's a pale ale. It's Raccoon City pale
Where did
ale.
you get that?
I'll tell you a story in a minute after I finish my anecdote.
Cool.
But yeah, I wanted more of that game because that game is something that I'm extremely passionate about. I could see the opportunities to make that game better. I wanted more puzzles. I wanted some of them areas to just be stretched a little bit more, you know?
Yeah.
It felt a little bit too onto the next thing, onto the next thing,
Yeah.
onto the next thing. And like when you get to the power station with the creepy, horrible bugs that keep laying eggs down your throat.
Oh.
Like that bit was incredible. It just did not last anywhere near long enough.
I'm okay with it. I didn't like it.
I would love to see that recur, but it's interesting when it's a franchise that means that much to me, like Resident Evil does. You've hit yourself, you've hurt yourself. I'll call for first aid. I don't know what number it would be.
911.
That's the one.
I don't know if it'll work though.
999 won't help you at all. So if it's a franchise that I'm like kind of passionate about, then I want more.
Yeah.
So maybe it's more of a conversation around a Resident Evil game. Like Capcom could drop a 200-hour-long open-world Resident Evil game, and I'd play all of it.
Yeah, I probably would.
I'd drop everything else, and Cyberpunk.
Oh boy.
I will drop everything else for.
Oh boy, yeah.
So I think it's a conversation about kind of franchises,
and that's
like,
kind of where it turns into play, right?
Yeah.
Like that changes the whole idea of the length of video games, because really the conversation doesn't come to whether or not we like, or even people out there, and guys, please let us know in the comments what you think, but it comes to the idea of like, I'm with you, right? Like Assassin's Creed games, I will play the fuck out of them. I will play them. And then like Horizon Zero Dawn, I loved Horizon Zero Dawn. Took me 3 years to finally get through it, and when I did, Breath of the Wild came out the exact same time as Horizon, so that's why Zelda trumps everything for me all the time. But even so, I love that game. But when I finally got to it, I went, I'm not doing side quests. I put that thing on easy and I ran through it because I wanted to complete it. And unfortunately, by the time I did beat it as well, I won't say better, but like the story elements of the side quests of Assassin's Creed Origins, Odyssey, Ghost of Tsushima have already been out now, and their side quests they felt like fetch quests without any meaning. So it in turn was like, this game's great, but unfortunately to me now it just feels dated in that sense. But it's not. It's a great game. I'm happy it's finally on PC. I'm happy people get to play it. It's great. Can't wait for the sequel. But 100%, the next one that comes out, I can't say for sure that I'm gonna be. We'll see what happens, but, you know, like Cyberpunk, great example. I'm excited for that game. I'm probably going to wait to get it on my PS5. I'm probably not going to play it to start with. And that's just because I love Cyberpunk stuff. That game looks so deep. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation on, like, thoughts of
hell yeah,
of Cyberpunk.
But
even see, like, that just looks so, like, I mean, I never beat The Witcher 3. Never beat it. That's like one of my piles of shame type games that I've started that game 6 times. It's 100% up my alley. It's got the fantasy, it's got the combat, it's got the voice acting, it's got everything about it is exactly what I love in video games. And yet I play it for about 8 hours and I go, I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's common, man.
It's weird though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think there's kind of like a sweet spot where these open world games lose me, and obviously they lose you too, unless it's a franchise that you're already passionate about and kind of connected with, and kind of.
I hope you can't hear
invested. I can't.
Cool.
So it's an interesting one because there does seem to be a sweet spot, and it does tend to be 8, 10, maybe 15 hours at a push. They just seem to just lose you because you've done everything gameplay wise that the game has to offer realistically, apart from leveling your character up and getting new skins and getting new gear and becoming more powerful. You've basically seen everything the game has to show. So the question, I guess, is, would a game like The Witcher, and some people will violently say no, but would a game like The Witcher benefit from just being a tight 15-hour story-driven, cut out the fetch quests?
I mean,
it wouldn't be an RPG then.
I mean, maybe. I mean, it's hard to say. It's a different game at that point. Which, just thinking on that, how interesting would that be if you got to get that type of a lot of games come out with the story difficulty now, where they basically just make your AI just super easy to convenient. But how interesting would it be if all of a sudden you were we have 2 games. Here's your open world. You get the story same way, and you can go do whatever you want. Or here's the 15, here's the straight story.
Yeah. It's just a story.
I mean, that seems unrealistic, and that might not be
it's
ever
completely unrealistic. Yeah,
but I agree with you, and I think almost any person who is devoted to The Witcher specifically, or CD Projekt Red, would go get fucked, because most people, it's like Skyrim, right? They don't care about the main story. They want to get lost in the world, which is totally fine. When I get I'll go back to it again. Ghost of Tsushima is one of the first open world games since anything Assassin's Creed I don't want to finish the story because of how lost I am in that world. Everything that comes across is done so perfectly that I love exploring and seeing everything. I'm now at the point where I want to beat it because there's other things I want to play and I don't want to leave it sitting. But the conversation is not really about length of video games. It's about the style and the things that you enjoy.
It's about what they do with the length.
Yeah.
Because I think it's more of a conversation about open world games for me.
Yeah.
It's open world games more than the length of a game.
And versus a single player story. You get go ahead.
I feel like when you've got an open world game, you've got this much content.
Yeah.
But you stretch it over this much space.
That can be the case,
That's how it almost always feels to me with an open world game. There's a few examples where it didn't feel that way. One of, in my opinion, the best open world games is in its sales is GTA 5.
Oh yes,
it was an open world game if you wanted it to be an open world game. If you wanted to just go and mess up some people walking around the streets, you want to pick up some prostitutes, shoot up the cops, you can. The option's there. But if you played the story set within the open world, it was a tight, kind of set-piece driven, tight gangster mobster. It was great.
It also used its map that it created to
use the map beautifully.
100. I mean, there was not a single moment in that game where like that storyline, which I've only ever played the story of that game once, but it was just so well crafted. It was so well done. I mean, the day when it came out, I don't know what it is about Grand Theft Auto games. I think there's better games out there. I played that game for 12 and a half hours straight, day one it came out. And I was just so lost. It was just so good. And everybody loses their fucking minds about it. Before the online.
Well, the online, that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, but still.
It's what the developers choose to do with the time that they're telling you to spend in that world. And I feel like too many developers are content to leave you to make your own story. You do it. Go do some fetch quest. Go get some powers.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Rockstar gave you this massive open world, but populated it with meaningful things and pushed you through it with a story that was lengthy. It's a lengthy story. It's probably 25, 30 hour long game.
Let's go to howlongtobeat.com.
Find out. I feel like that's kind of roughly what I played with that game. That's roughly the time I put into it. Probably more because I would have done side quests.
31 hours, they say, main story.
There we go. So 31 hours for the main story.
Jesus Christ.
That's a long game.
That's a long game.
It's not the longest, but something like Assassin's Creed, something like Far Cry, a lot of the Ubisoft titles don't necessarily populate that world and even the story with meaningful moments. They just want to drag you along for as long as possible.
Yes.
For as long as possible, because if you're playing that game for a longer period of time, you're more likely to invest more into their ecosystem, whether that's buying some in-game currency or
Never done it.
Service thing again.
No, I've done it.
I've never done it. I look at it and go, I can't be doing this.
I hate when I do it, but I do it for every Assassin's Creed game.
They feel. I don't want to attack any developers or anybody, but it feels like lazy game making when you make this big open worlds and kind of just stretch the small amount of story you've got across 100 hours and just say, you do it. It's not focused, it's not tight, and that's why I get bored.
And that's also
everything in 10-15 hours.
And it's also attention spans when it comes to it, right? You know, like you've said, like we just already talked about, it comes down to, you know, the gameplay loop. Do you enjoy it? Yeah. You know, I mean, and people are different. There's people who put I mean, that's the best part about it. There is no definite answer about how long a game should be. You might think a game needs to be shorter or longer. There's points. I mean, even in our Last of Us 2 spoiler cast, we thought that there were sections that dragged a little bit, and that is the focus of the focus cinematic type gameplay. And there's even sections in that a lot of people, not just us included, think drag on. So, you know, the whole idea of length of video games, we know for a fact it's varied.
I think if we were to be adult about it,
and
I think this is, I'm going to go really adult for just
all right, Dad.
So if we were to be really adult about this, I think we need to normalize the fact that if you're sitting there playing a video game and you feel that thought creep into your head, how long is this? How much longer till the end? Maybe it's time to just put it down, because clearly you're not enjoying it. And to force yourself to continue to play it just because you need to get to the end is probably the wrong answer. And I think that's where I get this backlog of video games that I've started and put down, because I find myself asked that question
all the time.
If you ask that question, I think you need to just walk away from the game, because you're investing your precious time into it. And I think if that's starting to creep in, are you really having that much of a good time? You know?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and that's kind of the downside of things. Of like when a new game comes out, like, you know, I spent $60 in The Witcher, and I've never completed it. Did I get my money's worth? Probably not. And it's shitty, because it's like, well, I just dropped $60. I gotta play this. I've also always been one that has to justify a big purchase of any sort of thing. Like, if I'm gonna go get this fucking Xbox, I gotta make sure I play it, and I gotta make sure I put them out this. I don't. But I even my Xbox, I don't think I have. You know, that's why, like, even things like Game Pass, which I'm actually probably going to subscribe to later today for the first time. That opens it up. I start up a game and it's like, oh, I didn't like it. Well, cool. Then there's another one I can go try. And I only spent
to walk away. Yeah.
I spent what, $20 a month? Sure, it adds up, but it's, you know. I'm fortunate enough to be able to afford the games that I want to afford, but it still does suck. Like we've talked about before, I have the 2 Tomb Raider games after the first one that I would love to get back to. I have nothing against them. I haven't played them enough, but unfortunately it's like they've been sitting there and I'm going, maybe.
This is it. I think if we were all honest, I think there just comes a time when you just need to go, it's time to put this game down.
Yeah, I agree.
And not feel bad about it, because the only reason I think I really brought this up as a conversation around kind of maybe we should talk about game length is because I do get that guilt. That guilt creeps in so often when I start an open world game and don't finish it. And I think it's fine to not finish it. Don't force yourself into 30, 40 more hours of a game that if you feel like you've seen everything and you're starting to question the length and you feel like you're done, then you're probably done.
Well, if you're not having fun, I mean, remember, these are video games. If you're not enjoying it, why keep doing it? I say this about almost anything in life altogether. If you don't enjoy it, why would you do it?
Why are you doing it?
I've used that excuse for jobs as well in the past. I don't enjoy this job. I hate coming into work. I will find something else. And that's not always an easy thing for people to accept or to be able to just go out and do. It's not like I've just like quit every job that I've hated. I've gone through the process, but it's still that concept. A lot of my friends, they have games that they play and they go, I just didn't like it, which has been Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I'm just going, that's the game that we've talked about since I met you 10 years ago that we waited for, and they're like, unfortunately it wasn't for me, and I go, how? But it's
not normalized, and we're getting a bit deep now, but it's so weird because it isn't just video games. You're right. It's jobs,
everything, man.
It's everything we do. We're made to feel like we have to keep doing it to completion. Feel like I've took this job now. I might not like it, but I need to keep doing it because I need to pay my rent.
Well, yeah.
No, you don't.
You don't.
You can find something else. It might take a little while. It might take you a couple of months. It might take you a year. But you don't have to keep doing something that you don't enjoy just because you've paid for it or feel obligated to do so. And that's super true for video games.
Yeah, it's super true for everything.
It's super true for everything. You bought a video game, you don't owe that video game or that company anything. You've already paid for it.
You've already bought it. It's over. Move on if you don't like it.
I feel far more content to get to the 4-hour mark in a game and go, how much longer is this? And then check, and then see that it's 8 hours, and then I'll go, okay, well, I'll push myself. I'll finish this.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll check it once in a while and be like, oh, that's not that bad, or I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying a game so much. I'm like, man, how much is left of this? And you go like 20 hours, like, fuck yeah, dude.
It goes both ways.
It does.
The same thing. I'm like, oh, I hope I'm not near the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, fuck for that. That's good.
Last of Us was like that for me when I got to the end of it in Santa Barbara, and I was just like, I don't want this to be over. I'm not ready.
and not to kind of come back to a horse that we've already beaten to death, but Last of Us 2, that's a fucking long game.
25-ish hours, yeah.
But it didn't feel long to me.
No, it didn't.
It's not an open world game. It's open world-esque sections, but it's a story-driven, set piece heavy single player game. And that's long for a single player game.
But it moves.
When you consider that
it's pacing.
But the pacing, I believe, was great, and I didn't question the length throughout because it was consistently engaging and consistently good. If a game can keep you engaged, then the length never comes into your mind. If you start thinking about the length, the game isn't clicking with you.
Yeah, 100%.
Something's sitting wrong. And as I've got older, I found that I can engage more with a shorter game. I'm happy. I agree. I'm confident that I have 4 hours to throw at something. Yeah, I'm not confident I have 60 hours to throw at something.
The next 2 games that I plan on playing, I looked up to how long they were going to be because I'm excited to try them because I never have. And they're both 10, 11 hours, and I went, that's a couple days for me. Perfect. Well, Ben, I think we might have exhausted this conversation. I think we actually have hit that point where we could just keep going around and around.
We'll just go round and round in circles.
And which is fine. We still got a little bit of time here with the technical difficulties to keep talking.
It's just nice to know that it is a very personal thing. Everyone will have a different opinion. Some people may just seek out those huge games.
And I would love to hear this. I would love to hear it from people.
I've got many friends that will just invest in one game.
Yeah,
because it's all. But
and that's fine.
It's very personal. Yeah. I'm sure you probably have friends that play Warcraft.
I do. Maybe. They actually a buddy of mine who was our tech guy on the stream, Adolf, is back into World of Warcraft with his friends, and I was like, should I go re-download that bet? Nope.
I've got a bunch of guys I used to play with fairly regularly. Picked up Classic, the WoW Classic, and they're back. They're in.
Oh yeah, man.
And that is the game they play now.
Yeah,
and
why the fuck not? Who cares?
Why the fuck not?
Yeah,
it's a different way to consume entertainment. If
go out there and have fun.
Experience. Keep doing it.
Do it. Have fun. Go enjoy it. These are fucking video games. They're awesome. Let's do it, baby.
It all boils down to enjoyment. If you're enjoying it, keep fucking doing it. If you start to question it, stop doing it.
Yeah.
Walk away, play something else.
Go move on. There's plenty more things out there. Go pick up. If you don't like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, go play fucking Assassin's Creed 2 again. Beating that game like 20 goddamn times. I love it. I love it.
I love those games. I just wish I could fucking finish.
And that's fine. Who cares?
That's probably the only franchise that actually frustrates me that I can't get to the end of it.
I mean, you're gonna get Valhalla though, right? Like you gotta give Valhalla a shot.
I'll get it and I'll play 15 hours.
Oh man, Ben, I'm growing out the beard so I can braid it, so I can be that Viking.
I need a fucking shave. Mine's a mess.
Don't you fucking dare! Don't you fucking dare!
Not like off. I wouldn't shave it off.
I was gonna say, like, I've already turned down a lot of requests for people to be on this podcast because they don't have a beard, which I feel like is really rude, but.
My entire channel name if I ever shave my beard.
That's very true.
Part of my face for the rest of my life.
That's actually been my fear about the red beard always being here, and then as I get older, I mean, I got grays in here. When it goes completely gray, it's just like, well, Admiral Greybeard doesn't sound as good to me.
Admiral Greybeard sounds fucking sweet.
I mean, then I'm a wizard. Then I'm straight up a fucking wizard. Yeah. Well, let's let's move on. Well, with that, I mean, that's the main topic, guys. So what we're gonna do here at the end is we're gonna go back. We're gonna kind of do a roundup of quick hits again. Ben, and there is one more thing that we'll talk about briefly as well. But out of the things we talked about at the beginning of the podcast, what do you think we should talk about a little bit more? I mean, I think we kind of hit it a little bit, but
I think we nailed it, man. I mean,
do you think we nailed it?
A lot more to say. I mean,
perfect.
Infinite delay, it's gonna hurt the Xbox. Control, think it's kind of shitty. Bioshock, Yeah, that's cool. Give me another Bioshock. Set it somewhere else. Avengers beta.
Not much more to say on it right now. We can talk more of that when the game comes out for sure. Because yeah. And then Fall Guys, you gave me all of it about Fall Guys. So then
Fall Guys is just the fucking.
Then
best
real
game.
briefly, as briefly as we can do it, before we jump into what are we playing, dude, Fortnite and Apple and Google Play has been. So I saw it happen on Twitter when they pulled it, okay?
Yeah.
And then I was listening to Kind of Funny Games Daily where they were talking about them pulling it and how like crazy it was. And my favorite part about it is I listened to it later that afternoon or like later that night right after they pulled it from the Google Play Store too. And they were talking about like how crazy would that be if Google pulled it too, and they're like, that'll never happen. And then it fucking happened, and I went, what is happening? Like, holy shit, this is huge.
So I am in support of none of them because they're all fucking mega corporations.
100% they are.
You know,
it's just
none of these corporations see us as anything other than just little piggy banks that are going to keep funding them. So I don't fucking give a shit who comes out on top here.
It's still crazy that it's fucking happening. Holy crap.
It's weird that I feel compelled to, and I don't want to side with anyone, but you kind of almost feel compelled to side with Epic because they're in this situation.
Yeah,
they're David, and Apple is Goliath. Apple is worth, the last time I checked, something like 1.5 trillion.
Yep. They were the first
Epic's
company to ever do.
They're a big fucking company, but they're not anywhere near that kind of money. So they're trying to take on a fucking mega.
Well, and this also comes off of the xCloud not coming to iOS. That them completely eliminating it of that. And I'm an iPhone user. I have it. Like I'm in their ecosystem. I don't like agree with obviously everything they do, but this one. I mean, like them taking off the biggest video game of all time right now. I think, or at least still ongoing. That's nuts. That's even the conversation of the kids who have iPhones, their parents who got them iPhones, the 10, 11, 12-year-olds, the ones that I fucking sell to people, going, Mom, I want an Android now.
Yep. But it's gone.
But now it's gone from that as well, and it's just like, holy shit.
This is the power. This is the power of Apple. They are that big that it doesn't matter. They don't care. They know they will win this fight.
I mean, maybe, man, maybe that's a big market, and the outcry, that's huge.
The outcry is huge, but Epic are being just as shitty trying to weaponize children. Did you see the video?
I did that. Like at first, I kind of went nice, and then I went wait, hold on. Like
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's fucking cool. I love it. I love the angle.
They were also on the ball with it. Like it was almost too fast.
Like it was planned.
Like this whole thing. But, I mean, PR, baby.
Fuck yeah. But you take a step back from it and you look at it, and like they're pumping that trailer out in Fortnite onto the big screens.
Yeah.
So people that are playing it, watching that, it looks like a piece of wartime propaganda. Because
it does. Holy shit.
They're weaponizing these kids to fight Apple to help them win a battle against Apple's. And Apple is just as criminal, they want 30% cut of everything that comes through the iOS store, and Google's the same, which is why V-Bucks have never cost the same across all platforms.
Yep.
If you're playing on Xbox, $7.99 it'll cost you. If you're playing on your phone, $9.99 it'll cost you.
Fuck.
Apple and Google take a cut, 30%,
Yep.
and that's what this is all about.
Yep.
So, Epic thought, fuck them. We'll put a back door in where you can buy V-Bucks directly from Epic,
Yep.
through the app. And that circumvented their system.
And it just went, and I mean, how quick? I mean, the announcement went up. The announcement went up that they're doing this, and then what? An hour later, it's gone. It was something like that, and it was like, holy, whoa. My head was spinning.
At the end of the day, whether Epic agree with Apple and Google's policies and the way that they take that additional cut, at the end of the day, Epic broke the terms of service. They broke the terms of service to be on both of those stores, so both of them are well within their rights to remove the product.
Yeah, I mean, they are. I mean, that's the downside of like not siding with somebody, but they broke the terms. It's
fucked because none of them are the good guy. It's just
a
whole bunch of bad guys. Epic are trying to appear as the good guy because they're trying to normalize and flatten the price of the V-Bucks across all platforms, which it should be. It shouldn't cost more for a mobile user than a PlayStation or an Xbox user. It shouldn't. It sucks. It's awful. So they're trying to flatten that curve. But by existing on both of Google and Apple's ecosystems, they've agreed to those terms at some point. So just breaking them without opening up a dialogue or starting a conversation is dumb. They were always going to get themselves kicked off. It's reckless. But now trying to weaponize the children and the user base of the game to fight the battle for them is fucking easy.
It's fucking messed up, dude.
The whole thing's fucked.
Yeah, like completely.
But it's fascinating to me.
It is, and I cannot wait to see what's going to happen next. I don't know.
Suing them, aren't they? Epic suing
something like that. I haven't looked at much on it today, but probably. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top of this, because this is something that gamers don't want it. I don't actually think that Apple wants it. I don't think Google wants it. Obviously, Epic doesn't want it. I don't think anybody actually wants this, because those are all customer bases of money in any sense that they are now losing, and a lot of money with how much Fortnite puts back.
Tons of money.
It's a lot, and this is gonna
off the Android store. Then
that was mind blowing. I couldn't believe that. I figured they would have just been like, "Nah, fuck it, do whatever the hell you want."
If they let Fortnite stay there, it would have been a whole other situation, because you would have had exactly what you just said. You would have all these kids going, "I don't want my iPhone anymore.
Yeah,
I need Samsung now."
They would have all gone and just they would have just gone out and bought an Android tablet for cheap, because that's the whole idea about Game Pass. I'm not gonna buy the Series X. I'm probably gonna find myself a cheap. I got an Android tablet upstairs. It's a Kindle that if I can get the goddamn
I'll do the job.
If I can get xCloud on there, it's not the hardware. I don't need the hardware. I need the servers. I need the internet. So there you go.
Got that already.
Yeah, I've already got that. And it's working great today, thank God. We haven't had a hiccup. We haven't had a hiccup since the quick hits. Yeah, man.
Nah, you've been all right.
Yeah,
it's super interesting.
Yeah, well, with that, we lead into the final segment of our show. Ben, I think we all kind of know, but what are you playing?
Fall Guys.
End the episode. Cut it.
End the episode. Start playing some Fall Guys music, because that's where I'm going straight after this. So literally, I finished a bunch of stuff recently. It's felt really nice. So I finished Made of Scare. I fucked it up again. It's Made of Scare.
Scare. I said it earlier too, and you say that a lot too. But fuck yeah.
Fucking idiot. It's SKER, but it's pronounced Scare.
Whatever.
That was great. Little indie studio based in Wales.
Actually, it looked so good. Like, I only got to almost to the first part of your Let's Play, but I was enjoying what I was watching. My wife was watching it with me too, and she's like, "This is dope."
It was genuinely dope.
And then she went, "Who's that bearded fuck?" And I went, "Oh, that's just Ben."
Stupid bearded fuck ruining this thing for me. But it was 4 hours long.
That's it?
Nailed it in a day.
No, I might have to
Fantastic. Get it. And then I played Eastern Exorcist, which is like a super fucking hardcore side-scrolling kind of a Castlevania, but it's all hand-painted. Every frame is hand-painted.
Oh,
very
okay.
Dark Soulsy. Really fucking good. And then Fall Guys.
Nice.
Fall Guys.
Nice.
So that's what I'm playing. I'm sure you're playing Ghost of Tsushima still.
Well, I
stick to one game.
I haven't actually played a video game in about 2 weeks. The last one
But you're gonna finish.
That's my plan. I played the Avengers beta last week for the 2 hours, so I'm not really counting it. That's all I did. I might, like I said, I don't have much more to do around here, so I might hop into it a little bit if you wanted to throw down a little bit in it. So
is it live now as well?
It's the open beta this weekend, so unless I got my timing wrong. So if you wanted to jump in for a little bit and do like a one Warzone thing, I'd be cool with it. I do plan on if we could get into one. I'd like to try it, and I'd rather play with you than anybody else. Just so that way we could have a open mind about it.
I am cooler than everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
That's fact. That's fact.
Facts.
Dropping
straight facts.
I do want to play Ghost of Tsushima tonight, because that's usually my Friday nights. My friends play D&D, and I get to sit around and have a couple of drinks and play games. So I'd like to play it tonight and maybe beat it. However, like I mentioned earlier, I wanted to get Game Pass. I got my Xbox all set up again. I dusted the bad boy off because there's games that I want to try.
Stuff just sitting there now. All that Game Pass content is just sitting there.
I haven't subscribed to it yet because I had to change my credit card. But here's the thing, and you're gonna like this because we're big Control fans. I've never played Alan Wake or Quantum Break. I bought an Xbox originally for Quantum Break, and I never got around to it. But because of the AWE trailer for Control, I want to go back and give Alan Wake a try. So I'm getting Game Pass, and I think I might start that tonight instead of Tsushima. Because I want to still wait on Tsushima because I'm loving it, and I don't want it to end. But I think I'm starting Alan Wake tonight.
For anyone listening on Spotify, I didn't respond when you said you didn't play Alan Wake. That's because my heart was exploding to 1,000 pieces. I had a small heart attack.
I didn't know when Alan Wake originally came out. I didn't know what it was. It was probably like I thought like a very big horror game. I had no idea what it was, and it just went under my radar. And until Control just
spooky.
blew me the fuck away. Control did, and how everything is supposed to be tied in, and with him being the Easter egg in Control, and now apparently going to be in Control. I'm like, all right, all these games are connected, even if it's time for me to do it because, like, I started watching Jacksepticeye play Quantum Break, which he started like 4 years ago, and I went, all right, this looks like a game I could actually play. So I stopped watching it. And I'm like, they're 11-hour games. I think that's what I want to do tonight. I'm gonna clean off the old Xbox, get the Game Pass, and that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm excited for it.
Fucking good time.
I'm excited for it, man. I will. Here's what we'll do. We will check, like, instead of just like with what you're playing, we'll check in on like these games. You can ask me next time I play, and we won't talk about it in our regular chat when me and you just bullshit. We'll just wait for the podcast, and I can tell you what I think about it at that time. Everyone. Oh, Ben, actually, I'm gonna let I do the intro, you do the outro, because we didn't plug at the beginning again, like we talked about we were going to.
Plug. What's a plug?
You know, like the whole like, comment, subscribe thing that you told me to do at the beginning, and I didn't do it.
You want me to do that because I'm like some kind of corporate shill.
Yes, exactly. So no, if I do the intro, you do the outro. Ben, lead us out of here.
Hello there, everyone.
It's an intro.
Yeah, I hope you've all enjoyed this episode of When Beards Collide. We've had a blast again talking. I'm sure we'll be back in the next couple of weeks. If you did enjoy it, please do hit like. It does mean the world to us. Leave us a comment because we can keep the conversation going down in the comments. We will respond to everything that anyone puts. So yeah, drop us a comment, leave us a like, and hit subscribe to both of us, and go and check us out on Spotify as well. If you can't watch the videos here on YouTube or wherever you could be listening to it right now on Spotify, we don't mind where you consume it. It's just great to have people listening, and we're really appreciative of everyone that's listened to everything so far, and everyone that listens now. Really does mean the world to us. So yeah, drop a like, hit us up on Spotify, hit us up on iTunes, cover all the bases. Just do it for us. Just go everywhere. Take us global.
Global, baby. If we get over 500 views on this one on your channel, I'll make merch.
Oh shit, son.
It's got to be 500. It's got to be over 500. We've hit over 300 on the first two. Over 500, and then you'll see something on teespring.com in the next couple weeks. Thank you, guys.
My bare ass on a t-shirt.